Many students waste years working jobs that lead nowhere. But if you choose right, your part-time job in Germany can launch your entire career. I have worked student jobs in university, in a consultancy, self-employed jobs, and also at BMW. This taught me that your part-time job is not there to earn your money now, but actually to push you towards your dream job, and hopefully you'll earn more money then. It's your decision whether you take the job that helps you to get there or waste time. In this video, I will show you the top 4 student jobs in Germany to boost your career. I'm not gonna tell you you should get into IT or sustainability or business or you choose the field that you want to study, and I'm not here to change that, obviously. I'm here to discuss how you can get further ahead in the field that you chose. Now, important to know is that as a student in Germany, you can work 120 full days or 240 half days per year. So on average, about 20 hours a week. However, you're allowed to work more during the semester break. So in the semester break or during internships, you can work full-time and earn more money. We will start with good jobs and work our way up to the great jobs, which I will share in the end of this video. First up is tutoring at your university. I did that for a while for a logistics class at the Technical University of Munich, which was actually one of my first jobs I ever had. Tutoring sounds simple, but I learned a lot while doing this. First of all, you have to really become an expert in a certain topic, but just having knowledge isn't enough. I had to learn how to be confident in front of a room of students and learn about how to present in ways so that it is easy to follow. I also developed a way deeper understanding by preparing and teaching it than I had before. I learned a lot about communication and also about showing up prepared. On the side, you'll also be in contact with your professor and you will get to know a lot more students, which is always cool for future projects. So who knows, someone might be able to help you out. I really think that the value this job provides you is that you know how to present something to someone else, that you're able to teach others, and that you're learning how to communicate properly. And also you get at least one footstep into a door into the academic world, because you will be in contact with your professors and so on. It's not just about earning money here, though you can make maybe around 15 euros per hour, depending on your subject and your experience. Another fantastic student job that can boost your career is working as a research assistant, or what Germans call Hiwi, which is short for Hilfswissenschaftler. A Hiwi job usually means working directly with professors, PhD students, or research teams at your university. You might be helping with literature research, maybe running lab experiments, analyzing data, preparing presentations, or even assisting in teaching. Now, why is this such a big opportunity? Because it gets you inside that academic world even more, and that can open doors you didn't even know existed. Also, you will have people above you who can guide you through your whole life, through your whole university career, which is amazing because they have done that already. So if you're thinking about doing a master's degree, a PhD, or even working in research and development later on in a big company, having research experience is gold. It also means you'll have professors who know you personally, who can also mentor you maybe in a way. The best part about this job, in my opinion, is that many Hiwi jobs are very flexible with your study schedule. You might be working 8 to 20 hours per week, depending on the project. And the schedule is flexible because they know you are a student. They know what you need. And yes, you also get paid, maybe usually around 12 to 16 euros per hour, but that depends a bit. So how do you land a Hiwi job? The best way is actually not to apply online somewhere, but to check your university's internal job boards or simply talk to professors after class. Trust me, professors love motivated students. If you even show a little bit of interest in their research, they'll often be happy to bring you on board. For example, if you're an engineering student interested in renewable energy, imagine assisting a professor working on solar technology or something else. I once did a project where we analyzed some green startups for a university project. And later on, the professor asked our group whether someone would be interested in working on a similar project as a Hiwi. Bottom line here is, if you love research, learning, or want strong academic references, a Hiwi job is a perfect move. Internships. Internships are one of the most powerful ways to kickstart your career while you're still studying. It's actually not a nice to have anymore. Companies in Germany here, they love hiring students who already know their team's work, basically. And many internships directly lead to these projects or full-time offers or better part-time jobs. Before I share how much you earn during an internship, because that's something you should be aware of, let's first talk about how it works and what you will learn. So the normal way for students to do internships is either during the semester break, or you can pause your studies and instead do the internship. This is what I did, for example. These internships are almost like real jobs. You're expected to contribute to actual projects, work with teams, and show what you're capable of. Oftentimes, there's not much difference, honestly, between the task that you do and the task that the full-time employees do, except for the fact that they will have the responsibility for it, so that's good for you. And also they tell you what to do, so you can decide that much. Because you're only there for a couple of months, they will mostly train you in one specific field for the first couple of weeks, and then you will be trusted with this one job for the remaining time, and you have to do it over and over again. When I had my internship at a startup consultancy and one at BMW, it was my first experience working full-time. Even that on its own is an experience I would say that you should definitely have before you start working, because suddenly I had much less flexibility in my life, and I had to learn that I had to plan my life in advance so that I'm still able to meet friends. On the job itself, I learned a lot about how you communicate on work, how much time is actually spent with meetings and emails, and also how to document everything in a way so that my coworkers and peers who rely on me are able to understand what I even did. That's like a big learning. However, I think there's something that is even more important, which is learning about myself and you about yourself. I learned that BMW is not a good fit for me personally, and that I prefer smaller companies or startups where I'm able to work a bit more creative in my work, have a bit more variety, know all of the people in the office, maybe for that also sacrifice a bit of salary. Maybe I will earn less, but that's what I need to feel good in my company. Maybe you'll find out that you like bigger companies much more, but the thing is, you have to try it out to know. So start as early as you can. And now let's talk about money for a second, because it's important to know. If your internship is mandatory, so that means if it is part of your study degree and you have to do it, the company doesn't have to pay you anything, like nothing. However, you typically will always get some money. It's common to earn maybe like 500 to 900 euros, maybe 1,000 euros per month, depending on your field and the company. In fields like IT, engineering, or consulting, you might even earn more. If you do an internship voluntarily, the salary depends on how long it is. If it is up to 3 months, then they also don't have to pay you anything. You can still expect the same amount of money. My first voluntary internship was 3 months long. I worked in a startup consultancy in Berlin and I got 450 euros per month. But my second internship, which was at BMW, was 5 months long, so more than the 3 months. So they will have to pay me at least minimum wage, and that's what they did. So yeah, with 40 hours a week, you will earn about maybe 2,200 euros gross, which then means it's like 1,700 maybe that is on your bank account. Working student jobs. Now, the absolute best type of part-time job for students in Germany, if you want to boost your career, is working as a student. Working student jobs, or in Germany as it is called, Werkstudentenstellen. A working student job means you're actually working part-time in your field of study, not like pulling coffee at a cafe machine or folding clothes in a retail store. You'll be helping real companies with real projects. If you're studying business, you might be analyzing customer data for a marketing team. I once had a job at a startup consultancy where I worked closely with startups to improve their business and financial plans to apply for funding. I learned a lot about what aspects make a good business model, about professional communication with clients, and also training new people who joined later on that then I had to train about the tasks. If you're studying computer science, for example, you could be helping develop an app or testing software updates. If you're studying mechanical engineering, you could be supporting the design of a new machine. A completely realistic picture of Werkstudentenjobs is that you can expect to earn between 14 to 20 euros per hour. But the biggest value isn't just the money, it's the experience that you get. In Germany, it is not enough to just have a degree with good grades. Actually, I would argue work experience is even more relevant than having good grades. You need to have work experience and you need to know how to convince in your applications. With these jobs, you'll be building a CV that actually shows your employers that you know what you're doing. But there's one more thing that makes this a much better choice than working in a warehouse or hotel. If you perform well, many companies offer you a full-time position directly after graduation, and also you'll meet many different people, maybe also at other companies, so maybe they will already know you when you apply. It is not very uncommon to actually turn your working student job into a thesis project, maybe an internship, or even your first real job offer. What these jobs taught me is that if you give your absolute best at the jobs, you'll learn a lot about what you like to work in, what you're good at, and of course a lot of soft and hard skills in a specific field. Besides that, if you give your best, others will notice it and opportunities will find you. So you don't necessarily have to reach out to companies. they will maybe already know you, because maybe people will recommend you, or they will forward you jobs, or you will get asked for future jobs again. Getting these jobs sometimes is not easy. You don't know yet which job fits your profile. Applying and writing good cover letters and going through interviews to get the good internships is also not very easy. I'm thinking of building a program together with a recruiter which teaches you all of the strategies, insights, and actionable steps that I wish I had known back then. If that sounds interesting to you, then click on the first link in the video description, which will take you to a website where you can enter your email address. And this will let you know that there is someone out there interested in what I'm saying. And if enough people want this, I will create this together with a recruiter and you'll be the first to know about it. I'm rooting for you. Keep growing.